specifically kills black people more than COVID-19. What, unless, the only place where that would be the case would be in the healthcare industry. In which case, instead of defending the protests, why don't you make your profession less racist? Because I don't deny that public schools are racist as hell. I don't deny that the healthcare industry is racist as hell. I don't deny that the social services industry is racist as hell. But those are places with a whole lot of white people. Statistically speaking, most of the teachers are going to be Democrats and liberals, or they'll at least be the plurality. They're going to be the plurality in human health services, just statistically speaking. Women are more likely to be Democrats than men. Educated white people are more likely to be liberal and democratic than Republican. So when you get into any field that has high level concentrations of college degrees, there's a whole lot of people who are statistically going to be likely to be liberal. Fix that. What? You're talking about racism like it's the cops. The racism in your profession, Miss Hussein, is at least as big a problem. And in fact, cops don't kill 70,000 black people a year. What are you talking about? How is Donald Trump's inaction the cause of all the deaths, but at the same time, racism is more important than COVID-19, but that black people suffer from COVID-19 the most? None of it makes sense. It's just a bunch of noise so they can get their way. And black people are only important to these people when they can use black folks to attack the people they can't beat. Look at the election. Republicans picked up 7 congressional seats net, picked up 2 seats in California, Orange County. Didn't flip into Michigan. They didn't all over New York State made grounds. Parsons outdistanced Trump by 1.5 points. You think they lost the election? The Democrats lost the election, and now the centrists are saying Claire McCaskill's right and AOC's wrong. The Republicans won the election and got rid of Trump. And they're trying to salvage it and say, oh, look, Trump lost, COVID-19 policy has been vindicated. No, it hasn't. In Ohio this week, 23-8, the Senate voted to overturn DeWine's COVID-19 policy, COVID-19 restrictions. It's going to the House. That's what people voted for. They're not telling you this because they have such a control over the network. This isn't as popular with the population as they're telling you to. The mask is something that's a psychological basis for maintaining the overall matrix of COVID-19 policy. There was a study that came out recently of from Danish. They did, I think, about 6,000 test subjects, and found that they had one group wear masks, one group not to wear masks. The group that wore masks, they were all asymptomatic. They all tested negative. 1.8% of the people who wore masks came back positive. 2.1% of the people who didn't wear masks came back positive. And now they got problems because that's the first actual experiment. So now everyone's rushing to discredit it. Oh, because with the mask goes down, the rest of the policy, that's the dominoes. And conservatives have been so busy defending Donald Trump that they have not put together a significant answer to this mask stuff. And I'm not saying it's bad to wear one, but this claim that the mask is the answer to the COVID-19 problem is completely unfounded. But they need that, because if you don't say that the mask is an impact player, then you cannot have COVID-19 policy after 25, 26 million people take to the streets. So it's not just a matter of control, it's also a matter of avoiding the fact that these policies are not rooted in science. And that these public health officials who are making these decisions, as demonstrated by Ms. Hussein, have agendas and they have perspectives. She might be a great epidemiologist, but her understanding of race and economics sucks. Her understanding of black people sucks. And that's every bit as relevant in this situation as her ability to analyze a virus. Just because she can analyze a virus doesn't mean she knows what the policy should be in terms of constitutional rights, economics, and what people are going to be able to do. Because in South Dakota, them cops are not going to arrest anyone for not wearing a mask. So a mask mandate is meaningless. You can have a mask mandate in Texas. I'm telling you, there are entire towns in Texas that will never have it enforced. And so you're creating a situation where you're placing more black and Latinos at risk by the very policy you advocate. She doesn't know what she's doing. She might know about viruses when it comes to public policy in regard to viruses. She and many other epidemiologists are out of their depth. You do your part and let us handle understanding these other matters because they don't understand it or they don't want to understand it because they want their profession to dictate other places. They want their profession to dominate other professions. And that's a big part of it. It's not just about Trump. It's about Dr. Fauci getting to be the most powerful, important man in the country. And it's just plain old ambition, plain old arrogance. When Dr. Fauci can show me how the same number of people take 15 million people, get me enough gyms that have been shut down that can prove that they have a population that when you put them together, 15 million people, and prove to me that they have higher rates of viral transmission, viral contagion, than the protesters. If you cannot prove that, if you cannot prove that a particular industry produces more viral infection than the protests, I believe that someone should take that, find someone with standing, and get the crap into the Supreme Court. And every single time that Dr. Fauci cannot prove that a particular event, I'm not talking about one, quote, super spreader event. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in aggregate. The 10 or 12 million people that go to gyms or whatever, if you can't prove that they have caused more spread and more cases than the people going to the protest, because the protests were not made illegal, they did not break up a single protest, then I would say that the claim that these policies are justified under the notion of public health concerns should be rendered void and invalid and unconstitutional. So that's my conclusion from all this. This ran a little longer than I expected, but thanks for listening. And until the next time, the Gray Falcon, Values Control, signing off.